Hello, everybody. My name is Talita Favoreto. On behalf of Furukawa, welcome everyone and thank you for your participation here. On this webinar today, we are going to present you our GPON equipment and its software and show how they can help you to evolve the operation, expansion, and maintenance of your network. I present you my colleague, application engineer Nicholas Mulder, who is an electrical engineer from the Federal Technological University of Paraná and postgraduate in computer networks. He's a specialist in optical fiber solutions for FTTx installations and currently works on the expansion of the Furukawa brand in the markets of Europe, Africa, and Asia. During the presentation, you can write questions here in the comments, some of which we'll answer in the final minutes of the session. Have you all a good presentation? Nicholas, please.
So hello everybody. Thanks for joining my webinar. As Talita mentioned, today I will be presenting a little bit of our equipment and our portfolio. So for those who don't know, Furukawa, it's part of a large group named Furukawa Electric Group, which acts in the telecommunications sector and also in a lot of different industries. Inside of this group, we have companies like Yokohama, Fujitsu, Fuji Electric Systems, and OFS in the United States, for example. And so today I work for the Furukawa Electric Latam, which is based in Brazil, but we have offices all around the world, including in Spain. So I believe in the situation that we are right now. Most of us are working from home due to the coronavirus. The quality of internet becomes very important. And with the internet, we can communicate. We are presenting webinars, we're making video calls, and all of that is essential for us today. And this increase of bandwidth consumption has been happening for a while, and it should keep increasing with the next years. So with this higher demand for bandwidth, what we have is an evolution on the networks. We went from a dial-up connection to a ADSL, and then we had players that were offering multi-service internet with HFC. So where we would use the optical fiber as a trunk network, and then put nodes in it so you can have coax arriving into the house. And that was great, and it's still being deployed, but it uses a lot of active equipment on this last mile distribution. And so providers looking for a better alternative where you can use the optical fiber as a medium of transmission up to the end user are migrating and started using the FTTH concept. And this idea is that you will provide the optical fiber even closer to the user and provide the user with a high bandwidth with an optimized infrastructure. And looking into more specifically on the passive optical network concept used by these FTTH networks, its main advantage is that it doesn't need active equipment in the distribution network. So what we will have is a center where you will have your OLT, which means the main equipment that will distribute the signal through your network to. So inside your optical network, all you will have are optical dividers, and these optical dividers are not active. So these decrease the number of failure points on your network because you don't have to have power to deploy the divider. You don't have to put inside a street cabinet. You can use it on a box, optical fiber enclosure that is way cheaper, and you can distribute them more evenly through your network. And from there, you will arrive at each house, at each customer, to an equipment that we call ONT, which is basically the modem that will provide service for the end customer. So, looking in a little bit more detail based on this GPON protocol, the idea is that it utilizes the WDM technology to allow the communication between the OLT to the modems through a passive network using only one fiber to each user. And for that, it multiplexes the signal, and the communication is bidirectional. And it uses two different wavelengths for that. So we have the wavelength of 1490 nanometers on the downstream direction, so from the OLT to the modems, and we have the direction for the upstream coming from the modems to the OLT of 1310 nanometers. And each port will have a downstream of 2.5 gigabits per second and an upstream of 1.25 gigabits per second. So looking into a little bit more detail on how this communication works, we have our downstream direction where our OLT will send its signal through the network. It will get divided through the splitter, and then it will arrive to all of the ONTs in this network. But due to this encryption process that we have, only the addressed modem will decode the signal and forward it to the end user. So here on the example, we have that only the user 1 will receive its packet, and only the user 2 and only the user 3. So through this encryption process, you have security. So this data is still inside the distribution network and cannot be opened by other users except the one that is meant for. Then, on the other side, what we have is the upstream transmission, where you will have our modem sending signals to the OLT. So in the protocol, what we have is, so we don't have any type of collision, each one of the modems will send its signal on a determined time. And the OLT will define this window of time so each one of the modems can send its signal. So this TDMA process ensures that you will not have any type of collision on your network, and do its DBA, do its dynamic allocation capabilities that you have, you will ensure that your medium is being optimized, and only the modems that have something to send will have a determined time allocated for it. So looking more specifically to the advantage of the GPON technology, so that uses this passive optical network concept to transmit data, you will have a network that is converged, so it supports multiple services in only one fiber. So for example, you can have telephony, internet, video, all in the same. And so you can provide a different set of service for your customer. It has a high bandwidth of transmission arriving to your customers. And the main advantage is it is its high transmission efficiency. So to the dynamic allocation method that it uses, it will divide this bandwidth according to the need of the users. So you will set the OLT to provide more bandwidth to one user if other user is not using it. So this is very important to ensure uh, the quality of the service and to optimize your resources. Also, the GPON technology allows long distance transmission. So with a GPON network, you can reach up to 60 kilometers of distance and following certain restraints. For example, two ONTs, the maximum distance between them must be 20 kilometers. And also, the GPON allows traffic prioritization. So the idea is that you can have different services on your network and you can create a traffic priority for those who matter most. So with all of these features, there is a protocol. So the GPON protocols are a standardized protocol by ITU. And in this document, this organization describes the main characteristics of the protocol, the distance parameters, the power parameters, and also how is the communication between each device. But even so, with this description of how the GPON technology works, each manufacturer can deploy it in a different way. So it is very important to ensure that the equipment that you're choosing is aligned with the needs of your provider, with the needs of the network. So that brings us to the question, which equipment should I choose? So the answer actually, it depends. So, but it depends on what? First, it depends on our project design. The idea is that you will have an area where you will deploy your network. So you will have the number of house passets, which means the number of houses that you will be able to provide service if you want. What is the bandwidth for each customer? What type of applications and service will you use? So are we talking about residential customers? Are we talking about uh, a city where you will offer service as monitoring or a business type of um, customer? And also with that setting, which is your bandwidth, what is the number of house passets, and what types of service and applications, you will define the split ratio of your network. So as we saw, the passive optical networks uses splitters to divide the signal. And on the GPON technology, you can divide up to 128 customers per GPON port. So defining the bandwidth and the applications and service will guide you through if you're going to divide it 1 by 32, 1 by 64, or 1 by 128. And that is very important on the process of decision of your equipment. Also, another point that is very important is how will you position your network components? Where are you going to place your uh, enclosures, where you're going to put your network so you can provide service to your region? So once the project has been defined, we can divide the network in 4 different areas: our central office, where we will have our OLT installed, then leaving the central office to distribute the signal through the region, we have our distribution network, which is mainly a passive do passive optical network technology. After that, we can have our access network, which is closer to the end user. It's where we're going to make the interconnection between our distribution network to our indoor network, where we will have or end customer. And that can be a building, that can be a house, that can be many different scenarios. So today we're going to talk specifically about the OLT, which will be placed on our central office, and or OMT or modem that will be placed on your our indoor network. So these two equipments will be used to provide service through the GPON network. And we have different types of equipment for different needs. For example, if we're talking a smaller operation, we can have standalone products that will enable you to provide service up to 128 users per port. So in the 3008, we can reach up to 1024 users, and on the 3016, we can reach up to 2048 users. So if we're looking into a larger network or where you have the demand to grow according to your business, we can look into a chassis type of model. And this type of model allows you to expand according to the network demand. So you will have blades that have service ports, so GPON ports. And as you need more users on your network, you can start installing those blades to achieve this. And this type of device usually also allow redundancy between the blades. So as we can see on this model, we can have up to two uplink ports with 4 SFP plus, which can receive signals up to uh, more than 10 gigabits. And on the other side of the network, so we talked about our OLTs that are placed in our central office, and then we have the equipment that is placed on the customer side, or ONTs. We can have different models, and you will choose them according to your user service plan and according to the service that you provide through your network. So we can have simple models, such as the first one on the screen, where you only have one internet port, so the customer can set up its own router, and they will only have data access through that. Or you can go for more service, such as uh, telephone ports, internet, Wi-Fi, and even RF ports for video. So choosing between the models should be according to the service that you will provide on your network. Also, as a future launch, so in Furukawa we have our chassis 3096 arriving on the second semester of 2020, and this device, it allows you to pay as you grow, so you can put the blades with the GPON ports to expand your network. So you can reach up to 12,288 users. And also, this chassis is compatible with the XGS PON technology. So, as we started talking on the beginning of this webinar, the technologies are always evolving. So, it's the same for the GPON technology. So currently, the mostly deployed, it is the GPON technology, and it is a technology that is up to the challenge to most of our current situations. But as the technology evolves, we can have the XG PON, and now we have the XGS PON that will allows you to have more bandwidth on your GPON ports, and you can reach a greater distance up to 100 kilometers, and you can reach up to 256 ONTs on a single port. But you should not be worried about having to change to XGS PON in the future, because this technology, is compatible with the GPON network. So through the network, you can have both technologies running inside of it. So this is the main advantage of a passive optical network. You can have your GPON technology in the same infrastructure as your XGS PON because they work on different wavelengths. So with the use of WDM, you will be able to have these two protocols running on the same infrastructure, allowing you to upgrade for those customers who need more bandwidth and keep the GPON platform for most users as you grow. So going back a little bit and going back to our project design, uh, we have now set what is our OLT, what is our ONT, and our modems, and how the fiber is deployed, how the equipment is connected. It's time to start activating customers, right? Well, for that, we need to configure the GPON equipment. And most of the time, what we have is that this configuration will be made by a technical team. So they will make the startup process, setting up all the equipment, configuring the routes, setting the data plans and the service that they will allow. And they after that they will also be needed for the network maintenance. So to expand the network, to activate new profiles and these things that happens on a everyday basis on an internet provider. But as your network increases in size and you gather more customers, which is great, you will start to receive more demands. So you will have new activations, change of plans, change of modem because the customer is changing service, or sometimes you need to cut the service for a while. And all of those requests arrive for your customer service. But a lot of these requests coming from your clients require a technical team. So this technical team will be responsible for changing the settings on the equipment. So because of this flow, a lot of times the technical teams take a longer time to respond, and this generates a delay on the solution for the customers. And that's not what we want when we're talking about network internet service providers. The main thing is about customer support, quality of service, and how fast you can solve your customer problem. So one way to solve that is to migrate from a command line interface configuration uh, type of operation to a network management system. So with this network management system, you will be able to enable all of your customer support people to operate the equipment and make changes as the customer calls. So you can leave your technical team for the more heavy configurations and expansion and keep your management team, your customer service team ready to solve most of your customers' problems. And to solve that, Furukawa has this management platform, which is called Conscious Map. So the idea of Conscious Map that is allows you to manage your network and not manage the configuration of your equipment, but it also can manage the area that your network is installed. It allows you to configure the equipment remotely. You can also have a list of your customers, check what type of ONT you have, and then troubleshoot if your customer has a problem. So the value aggregated on all of this is that inside one platform, you have total control of your network, and this control is closer to customer service, it's closer to the end user, so you can solve all its problems and make your internet provider faster in solving requests, faster in managing its own access. So here I put a couple of examples of what you can do in the software. So first of all, inside the software, you can have um, your network design inside of it. So you can optimize the use of your network. So you know where all your naps are, you know how many fibers you're using, and if you have any ports available to activate new customers inside of that NAP. So the idea is, for example, if a customer asks if I have the ability to provide service for him, type in his address, I can check the closest box, so the closest network access point, and check if I have any port available to perform the activation. And also with this type of insight, we can look into our network and see which boxes are not totally used, or for example, you have a terminal point that has no customers inside of it. That will allow you to connect your marketing with that region so you can offer a better deal and improve the use of your network. Another example is, for example, if you have a customer that wants to change its plan, want to make an upgrade on service. So with the software, you can set where your customer is located. You can check its location, what device does it have, what plan it is using, and customer service can change it right away for a better plan, and this activation will take place immediately. So you do not depend on a technical team to perform it. And also, you can train your team to check what plans are in use and offer better plans for your customers. So increase the data bandwidth, or maybe offer uh, a video service, and all of these aggregates value to the way you operate and can ensure that your customer will be satisfied and will enhance your network. And here our last example is that you can troubleshoot remotely. So if you have a customer that wants to change, for example, its Wi-Fi password because uh, he or she forgot it, or simply don't know how to do it, or someone is saying that they have a problem, that they don't know what's going on, but they don't have access to the internet, even your customer support can perform change of password, remote reboot of the equipment, and check if you have an outage of service in a certain region. And this will allow you to provide a better experience for your customer and solve their issues. So, with this in mind, of a whole solution of a network that will ensure service for all of your customers, what we have is, for a successful network, you need to look for a technology that is aligned with your business plan. So, equipments that can grow with your need, a management software that can help you to uh, solve your customers' problems and requests, a network that is low in maintenance and really fast to operate with a fast bandwidth, and also a solid infrastructure with all that. This way, you will ensure the quality of service for your customer, and this is where you can really get more clients and make a reputation for your internet provider. And also, as a final comment, to help you with that, we at Furukawa can provide with a set of tools that will allow you to have success. So we have a pre-sales team that can help you to choose the right equipment. If you have a network design project, if you have questions, we have a network pre-design team that can show you a type of solution. We have startup configuration packages, so you can have a Furukawa technician on site to help you with all the activation process. And also, we have a lot of trainings that can be offered to you so you can enhance your team's capability of management of your network. So, this is our presentation for today. So my name is Nicholas Mulder. Here's my email if you have any question and if you want to contact us. And now with the data, we will open a space for questions.
Thank you, Nicholas. So one question that is interesting is this one. Can the software conscious map manage more than one OLT?
Yes, actually, the software conscious map can manage multiple OLTs and can also manage multiple areas of your network. So with software, you will be able to manage different cities, different neighborhoods, and different equipment.
Great. And another question that we had is this one. Does the software indicate the NAP port closest to the client?
Yes, as I mentioned on the webinar, with the software, you can check the address of your customer and see if you have a port available to provide service.
Okay. And the last question for now. Once the software is installed and configured, is it possible to register new plans?
Yes, it is. With your technical team, which will have access to that feature inside the software, you can register a new plan and set the bandwidth allocation, type of service, and then this plan will be available for your team to activate on customers.
Okay, so thank you, Nicholas. If the attendants have more questions, you can send to Nicholas' email, nicholas.mulder@furukawaelectric.com. Later, you will receive the link for this video, which will remain available for those who want to see it again. And you can join us on social networks and see the emails that we'll send you in order to attend the next presentations of FBS solutions. Once again, thank you all very much for your assistance and take care.
Thank you. Take care.